Let us read the opening lines of the poem once again. He talks, turning a sun-stained cheek to me, his mouth a dark cavern where stalactites of uneven teeth gleam. Can you imagine Turu Dutt or Sarojini Naidu writing these lines? A woman freely discussing her own body. A woman frankly explaining her sexual frustrations. A woman honestly revealing the disgust that she feels for her husband as a sexual partner. Such things were unthinkable in Indian poetry in English until Kamala Das walked into the scene. Reading these lines today in 2020, we are unable to appreciate fully their topical significance. Lines like these, written by Kamala Das, were responsible for unleashing a sexual revolution in Indian writing in English. You must remember that the sexual revolution in Western countries took place only in the 1960s. Some would argue that it began in the 1960s and continued for a decade or two. This sexual revolution successfully challenged traditional codes of interpersonal relationships, of sexual behavior, of sexual morality. This was in the 1960s. Summer in Calcutta of Kamala Das was published in 1965, and it ignited a sexual revolution in Indian poetry in English. The poetry collections of Kamala Das that followed, like The Descendants, The Old Playhouse, and other poems, contributed even more towards this sexual revolution. The controversial autobiography of Kamala Das, My Story, was published in 1976. It was first written in Malayalam and serialized in the Malayalam weekly Malayalam Nadu as Ende Katha. Malayalam Nadu was then edited by S.K. Nair. Ende Katha was published in book form by Current Books in 1973. It was translated into English and published by Sterling as My Story in 1976. The verse and prose of Kamala Das played a very significant role in the sexual revolution that was witnessed in Indian writing in English in the 1960s, the 1970s, and the 1980s. His right hand on my knee. The man has already started the process of lovemaking. He places his right hand on the knee of the speaker to initiate the process of making love. Who is doing it? The man. The disgusting man, the repulsive man, the ugly man, the dirty man wants to make love with a speaker, and he has already started the process by placing his right hand, on the knee of the speaker. By the time we complete reading the poem, we get a suggestion that the man is the speaker's husband. There is no categorical statement, but there is sufficient circumstantial evidence to conclude that the man is her husband. The speaker's husband wants to make love with the speaker, and though he is a disgusting man, a repulsive man, he has started the process of making love with the speaker. It would be very profitable to read this poem in conjunction with the controversial but best selling, perhaps I should say controversial and best selling, autobiography of Kamala Das, My Story, where she, with brutal honesty, discusses her disgustingly unsatisfactory sexual relationship with her husband. While our minds are willed to race towards love, but they only wander, tripping idly over puddles of desire. The speaker and her partner, disgusting man though he be, very much want to make love with each other. And so they will their minds. Our minds are willed to race towards love. Will is used in a rather unusual sense here. Will is used as a verb. In this context, to will means to make something happen using one's thought power, using one's mental focus, using one's determination. Both the woman and the man are determined to make the love making a success, and so they compel their minds to move towards love, not exactly move towards love, move very fast towards love, move very quickly towards love, to race towards love. But their efforts are in vain because they only wander. The mind of the man and the mind of the woman, they only wander. Instead of racing towards love, the minds only wander, move about aimlessly, move about in a lazy manner, tripping idly over puddles of desire. To trip, again used as a verb, means to fall, to stumble, especially to catch one's foot on something and stumble, to catch one's foot on something and fall, tripping idly. Idly can mean without any reason, without any foundation. Idly can mean aimlessly. Idly can mean lazily. Tripping idly over puddles of desire. A puddle is a small collection of water or any other liquid. A puddle is a small pool of water or any other liquid. Usually it's water. Idly over puddles of desire. Desire appears in front of the minds in the form of puddles. and the minds trip over the puddles and fall. This word desire here demands some explanation. Probably the speaker means sexual desire, but it cannot be sexual desire of the man of the woman for each other, because if that sexual desire had really been there, this poem would not have been written. The woman and the man would have had a blissful love making. The poet still speaks of desire, puddles of desire, which are responsible for making the minds stumble, the minds fall, the minds which are being forced, being compelled to race towards love. In this context, what can the word desire mean? It probably means desire for other men and other women. It probably means the desire for other sexual partners. This desire appears in the form of a pool and makes the minds stumble. The woman and the man are attempting to make love successfully. They try to compel their minds to race towards love, but they fail to do that because in both of them there are desires. There are puddles of desire. This desire very probably refers to the desire of the woman and the desire of the man for other sexual partners.